What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Blank09 here today to chat with you more about some Black Ops Cold War, and once again we are talking about skill-based matchmaking and reverse boosting. I know what you're thinking, another video on skill-based matchmaking, another video on reverse boosting, but god damn it, every single day it seems like another thing to do with skill-based matchmaking comes up and I just have to talk about it, because not only do I get some things off my chest, it also brings awareness to the topic. But we'll move on into the topic of this video, which is the fact that a bunch of different YouTubers and a bunch of different Call of Duty pro players and well-known people in the Call of Duty community have admitted to reverse boosting here in Cold War in order to just simply have fun in the game. Now, this is really good to see, in my opinion, because if you've seen my previous reverse boosting video where we talked about Korean Savage and we talked about Face Swag and we talked about these sort of guys reverse boosting in order to get these high kill gameplays and all this sort of stuff, and I talked about the lack of transparency, and transparency and honesty is one of the biggest things for me. If you're going to be these so-called Call of Duty gameplay YouTubers and you're pumping out these triple nuclears, or you're pumping out these 100+ kill games and all this sort of stuff, and you're doing it because you reverse boosted to get those gameplays, I think that you have to be honest with your fan base, and I think you have to be transparent with the people watching the video so that they know that this gameplay has only been achieved since you reverse boosted. And I think that the whole secrecy behind it all and the lack of honesty behind it all is the one thing that sort of throws me off. As a system, I see that skill-based matchmaking is there. Obviously, we all know that skill-based matchmaking is there. And then on the flip side of that as well, I know that since there's a way to exploit the system, I don't really give a fuck if you exploit the system. Like, you can, if you're just a normal average person, if you're just like yourself, like me, yourself, like whatever, like we're just normal dudes, right? If you want to exploit skill-based matchmaking, if you want to reverse boost, go right ahead. It doesn't really fucking matter if you do it. The only reason that I have a problem with some of these guys doing it is because I don't like the idea of profiting off of gameplays that don't feel earned. I think that the best thing for me to say here is that reverse boosting to get these crazy gameplays and then getting a bunch of money off of it is not something that I really like, and I would like some transparency there in terms of those bigger guys. A lot of the people that have been coming out and saying that they reverse boost to play, like to have some fun in the game, personally I don't recognize, but I do recognize that they must have a big following to be followed and sort of reported on in this way, and I'm very appreciative that these guys have come out and sort of have been transparent with this whole thing. I just hope that more people follow in this trend. I think that, like, reverse boosting as a whole at the moment, it doesn't really matter. Say for a fact you reverse boosted back in the day in like Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, the original Black Ops 1 and all that sort of stuff, you would have been fucking hounded out of the community, and people right now don't really care, because people now in the community now know that skill-based matchmaking is a problem, and they know that it is a system that can be exploited, and if it can be exploited, why not do it? Because exploiting the system means you have fun in the game, and if you have fun in the game, then why should you stop yourself from having fun in a fucking Call of Duty game? It's a game. You come onto the game, you play the game just to have fun. What's the point in sweating out every single game? And I think that's the common misconception there as well. I always speak on this every time I make a skill-based matchmaking video, and I will continue to speak on this because the fucking point seems to never get across. People who are against skill-based matchmaking do not want an easy lobby every single game. The thing that skill-based matchmaking takes away is the casual and the fun factor of playing Call of Duty. If I just come back from an 8-hour shift, I come home, I don't want to jump on Call of Duty and instantly have to sweat my balls off just to win a bloody game. If anyone, I don't think anyone wants to come home and play 5 hours straight of just competitive, sweaty Call of Duty where you have to try your absolute best every single time you pick up the sticks. I don't think that's something anyone wants, and I don't think that's something that should be there in the first place, but unfortunately it is because of skill-based matchmaking. Moving on from that point, you get the flip side where people say, oh, you guys just want to shit on everyone every single game. Let me take you back to Modern Warfare 2. Let me take you back to the original Black Ops 2, for example. I think we can go from like Black Ops 2 backwards in terms of talking about this particular scenario. Skill-based matchmaking wasn't necessarily a thing. There was team balancing and team balancing matchmaking, where you basically got paired up against and with players who are not I guess, your skill level, but you get just put in a lobby based on connection, and the game will just balance the teams based on who's performing well or who the game thinks like who's in a team or this and that. Like there's algorithms in place, but it wasn't skill-based matchmaking. And that way, players who were not as good at the game could not only play against players who are of their same skill level, play against people who are worse than them, play against people who are better than them. Skill-based like matchmaking back in the day was a mixed bag. You can get some good players, you get some bad players, you get some average players. So it was just a mixed bag, and it was all based on connection. The problem here with skill-based matchmaking, and the problem that I found, especially in Modern Warfare 2019, not necessarily as much here in Cold War, was that the game would place me into matches with players on the other side of the world, because it was based on skill. If the game was really based on connection, then I'd be playing players in Australia, New Zealand, not players in America, not players in the UK, players that are in my general vicinity in terms of where I live in the fucking world. And that didn't happen last year, and I don't know if it's happening this year. If it is happening, it's not as bad as it was last year, but last year it was definitely something that I 100% noticed. And again, this is why skill-based matchmaking and reverse boosting is such a big topic right now in the Call of Duty community, because people just want to have fun. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think if you go down the route of reverse boosting and that sort of stuff just to have fun, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm pretty sure players who are reverse boosting know how to reverse boost and understand why they're reverse boosting are decent Call of Duty players in the first place. I think that people who like you got a couple different cams here. You have the cam who reverse boost, and they do it because they just want to have fun, and that's fair enough. Like you can do whatever you want. It's your video game. You paid the money for it. You do what the fuck you want. You have the cam that knows how to reverse boost but chooses not to, which is the camp that I'm currently situated in, personally because I play with mates, and for me, like, just playing with friends is fun enough for me, so I can sort of not really deal with it, but I can just tolerate skill-based matchmaking, basically. And then you have the camp that's against reverse boosting and for skill-based matchmaking because they want to feel some sort of protection from the better players in the lobby. The thing that I'll say to you guys, if you are someone who is for skill-based matchmaking and you don't want to come against the best players in the world, the thing about it is, all of us who are somewhat decent at Call of Duty started exactly where you were. Back in Modern Warfare 2, I was absolutely god-awful at the game, and every single game I played, and every single Call of Duty game I played, I got better and better and better and better. And it's not going to be an instant progression, but just playing against players who are better than you can actually learn from those players. Getting shit on doesn't mean that you're going to get shit on every single time. Getting shit on doesn't mean you give up or play the game. Getting shit on just means that you just got outplayed. How can you learn from those players that you just played against? And I think that's the one thing that people who are for skill-based matchmaking don't necessarily understand. Because if you are protected from everyone who is better at the game than you, you're never going to get better at the game. You're always going to stay in this one spot the entire time because skill-based matchmaking wants to lock you in there. And then you get the people who reverse boost, and then the people who reverse boost come into your lobbies anyway because they're reverse boosting just to get in there because they want to have a good time as well, because they don't want to be sweating it out every single game that they play Call of Duty on. But that's enough for me. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. As I said, transparency is key, and if we can continue this trend of more people coming out and admitting that skill-based matchmaking is making their lives miserable and reverse boosting is something they do just to have fun with the game, I think that's just overall going to bring more awareness to the severity of the topic. Comment down below, what do you think about all of the things that I've talked about here in this video? Click subscribe if you're new here so you don't miss out on my next video, and follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/blankonline. I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out.
Baby, I like you a lot. You know I mean that a lot. I'ma pull up at your spot. I'ma show you what I got. I just been dodging a cop. I just been dodging my ops. I need to sit and relax. Baby girl, come make it pop. Baby girl, right now I need you. Baby, I need to come see you. There's not a